When I was young, I used to look at a picture of my grandfather in one of our family albums. It was a weathered black and white print that showed a slender Chinese man from the waist up, as if the photographer was sitting on a low chair or a child's chair. My gungung, Shue, was tall, with smooth skin and slicked back black hair. He wore wire-framed glasses which obscured his eyes, but which were said to be a deep brown. In the photo, he is wearing a dark-colored jacket, maybe also brown. The coat is loose, which gives him the look of an Asian scarecrow. Your gungung wanted to be a film star, my father once told me. He even had a part in a big movie, The Good Earth. He was one of a cast of thousands, my mother said, rolling her eyes. I knew what that meant. The Good Earth was the kind of movie where hundreds of hard-suffering peasants toiled in the fields under the hot sun. No names, no lines to say, and no credit. The main Asian characters were almost always played by white actors in those days, a practice which would continue for decades. What could have possessed my grandfather to dream of being a star? The Chinese called America Gumsan, Gold Mountain. Did he land at Angel Island with images of untold wealth dancing in his head? Did he even know Hollywood's Dream Factory existed as he made his way down the coast of California to Los Angeles? My gungung certainly didn't look like the teen idols I had crushes on when I was young. The smooth-skinned boy with feathery brown hair in a show about 7 brothers looking for their brides, or the blue-eyed singer who played the heartthrob son of a traveling musical family. At any rate, Gungung's showbiz ambitions left him with a lot of time on his hands, time that he spent roaming around Los Angeles doing odd jobs. One of these jobs was selling fish heads that he got for free from boats at the Long Beach Pier to the poorer denizens of Chinatown who used them to make soups and stews, food that needed to stretch a small amount a long way. Your grandfather wanted to make a fortune and go back to China and live like a king, my father told me. But before Gungung could return to his homeland in triumph, he was arrested for another one of his money-making schemes, selling opium. He got it from Chinese gangsters, my father explained, describing how the sharp-suited dealers would sit in his family's kitchen to deliver the sticky-looking substance to my grandfather, their gleaming pistols barely hidden in their coat pockets. After the men left, my grandfather would divide up the opium and sell it in individual packets to people on his fish route. Somebody must have tipped off the cops, Daddy said, because they came after my parents had left the house for the day. Then he recounted how a crew of uniformed officers burst through their back door, which my father's little sister had accidentally left unlocked. As Dad and his terrified siblings watched from the doorway, the police found the drugs hidden in a bag of rice in the cupboard. At the time, my papa told them that their father was away on business. I imagine she thought a small lie would protect her children. After all, once Shue was home, everything would be fine, and the kids would never have to know that their father had been in jail. But my gungung never made it home. A few months into his sentence, he contracted tuberculosis in his stuffy cell, and a little while after that, he died. My father never saw his father again. I never met my gungung. My father was 12 years old. I waited at the bus stop after school for weeks, my dad told me, as we gazed at the only picture of Shue we would ever have, hoping that would be the day my father came home.